Um, if you've been alive for a while, um, whether you were born 55 years ago like me, yes, I'm 55. Yes, I know, I don't look like it. I've never looked my age. If I grow out my hair and my beard and stuff, then I start to look closer to my age, but I never really look my age. And I think it's just a genetic thing. It's not anything to do with my diet or lifestyle or anything like that, because certainly my lifestyle and diet could use some improving. Um, but I'm gotta stay focused. So you probably have heard of something called The Secret. And this came out, I think, probably about 20 or so years ago. There were two gentlemen um, who started promoting it, and they had a book, they had a video, they made a ton of money off of marketing this. And the secret about The Secret is it's not a secret. Although that's how they marketed it, right? They marketed it, they promoted it, they said, this is the best kept secret ever, or whatever, and they made a lot of false claims about it being a secret. It is more commonly known as the law of attraction. So the first secret about The Secret is it was never a secret. It's been around for a long time. The second misconception, I guess you could say, that they promoted surrounding The Secret was that if you do these things, the universe is going to give you what you want. No, that isn't really how it works. Okay, that's just clever marketing that they were using to prey on everybody hoping to have a better life, by thinking, oh my gosh, if I just do this, the universe is going to grant all my wishes. No, actually not. So, like 2 decades before The Secret came out, I was in Amway. I think it was, around that time. And I they promoted certain books. And hold on, I'm hungry. Breakfast. They promoted certain books, and in one of the books, and in some of the presentations they gave about motivation and stuff, they talked about things that you can do to motivate yourself to do well in Amway. Now, I'm not promoting Amway, okay? It did not work out for me, and that's a personal problem, but also statistically speaking, the vast majority of people who join Amway or any other MLM earn less money than if they were to work a part-time job at a fast food restaurant. Yeah, the vast majority. I mean, like, it's horrible the number of people who don't earn anything real, and there are a fair number of people who just lose money. But that's a whole nother video, which I already did. But getting back to the non-secret secret, so like this was like 30 years ago, so maybe it wasn't 20 years before The Secret was revealed. It was maybe closer to 10 to 15. I was a young man at the time, in my 20s, I want to say. Still living in Milwaukee at that time. So yeah, that would have been back in the 90s that I was in Amway. Yeah, mid 90s. So they taught us in the books and in the presentations about motivation and being successful in Amway. And again, I'm not promoting Amway. I don't recommend Amway or any other MLM or network marketing company. They are primarily a well, if the company itself is not a scam, then there are a lot of people within it those who become successful generally do so through misleading statements like my upline in Amway and scamming and stuff like that. So just don't. All right, so they taught us a variety of techniques to help us stay focused. And one of the big things that they taught was basically the secret. It was phrased differently. They didn't call it the secret or anything like that. It was just, okay, psychologically speaking, you need to stay focused on what you're doing. If you stay focused on what you're doing, you're much more likely to be successful, which is one factor in success, but it's not the only factor. Some people call it grit or willpower or stick-to-itiveness, whatever you want to call it, but it is important. And so they said things like, all right, we will find a picture of something that you really want. It could be a university degree, it could be a car, it could be a house, it could be whatever you want. Be very careful, though, to make sure that the picture looks exactly like what you want. So if you want, gosh, and I don't even know, I'll just say a Toyota Corolla, okay? If you want a Toyota Corolla and you want it to be cherry red, do not use a picture of a Toyota Corolla that is blue. Because when it comes time to buy, what's going to be in your head is a picture of a blue Toyota Corolla, and you will buy, most likely, a blue Toyota Corolla. Also, make sure that it is the right year. Make sure that everything in that picture, down to the last detail, is exactly what you want. If that means, if there's stuff that you want in that thing, or that is not going to be visible in the picture, add it as a list. Of the features that you want, and you can adjust that as you go along. But put it somewhere where you're going to see it every day, multiple times a day. So you could put it in the bathroom, you could put it in the kitchen, you could put it on the front door, next to the front door, or wherever it is that you frequently reside in your house or pass through or whatever, so that it's always on your mind, always kind of pushing you forward. Well, except for the fact that if you're not making a conscious effort to, or you're feeling frustrated, you may actually end up avoiding it. But that's beside the point. The point is that it is a tool to help you focus. And it doesn't have to even be one picture. You could have a collage of pictures of things that you want to achieve and you want to buy, you want to have in your life. Maybe you're a single person and you want to have, let's not get specific, yeah? But maybe you want to have a happy family, so you could have, you obviously that's going to have some requirements to it. But the difference between the secret and what I was learning in Amway is Amway's people were presenting this as psychology. They were presenting this as tried and true techniques to help you. They weren't adding any mysticism like the owners of The Secret did. They weren't adding any supernatural factors. The universe isn't going to step in or anything like that. It was based on actual knowledge of psychology. And The Secret is based on the same thing. It's just they added gobbledygook to make people more interested in it. And they did a really good job. I mean, I have to say, whoever their marketing team was, they were really good at it. And those guys made themselves rich. And did they do anything wrong? Not any more so than any other marketing team. And certainly less so than a lot of marketing teams that out and out tell destructive and lies and give you things that hurt people. But what they did do is they sold something that was free knowledge for anybody who wanted to take the time to look. And they made themselves rich off of something that they didn't really have to do anything to get. They just had to package it. So their cost was the packaging. Their cost was the marketing. And they made themselves rich and famous. And it was, it was just a lot of BS surrounding the core concept of keeping your brain focused. Because here's what happens. If you, let me put it in simple terms, okay? If you have a very positive outlook on life and you are determined to make certain things happen in your life, you're far more likely to notice any opportunities that will help you with that. You're far more likely to reach out to make connections with people who might be able to help you to achieve that. You're far more likely to come up with plans that will help you to reach your goals. You're far more likely to do all the things necessary to achieve your dreams than if you're negative, if you are depressed. And I speak from personal experience. My depression caused me to have kind of tunnel vision. I overlooked opportunities that I had, little ones and big ones. I had a job offer, but it was out in the outskirts of the Milwaukee area, and I didn't have a vehicle. This was straight out of college. A friend of mine had recommended me that we'd gone to college together, and I didn't have a vehicle. And I didn't think, how can I get a vehicle so that I can get out there? I just turned it down. Which is stupid, because right now I'd probably be, earning a lot of money being a programmer, instead of doing what I'm doing. But that's okay, because I'm here now with you. But my depression caused me to miss a lot of opportunities and to turn down opportunities and not to achieve my dreams. And so when you change your mindset, you open yourself up to opportunities, you open yourself up to creativity, and things like that. You increase the chances that what you want is going to happen. It might fall into your lap because you're constantly telling all your friends, "Oh, I want that pneumatic drill, so I can, make stuff." And blah, 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 blah. If you're always talking about the drill you want, and you're very specific, eventually somebody's going to be like, "Oh, you know what? I remember. It's his birthday's coming up, and he keeps on talking about that drill he really wants. So I'm gonna go ahead and buy it for him and make sure that everybody else knows not to buy it, because I don't want him to get 10 of these drills." And then lo and behold, there it is. But in the secret, they present it in a totally different way. They present it as, if you want a tricycle, you're a kid, right? You want a tricycle, you should constantly think about getting that tricycle and talk about getting that tricycle, and that tricycle is going to appear. It's almost like magic. Well, no, it's not like magic, because you keep on thinking about it, you keep on talking about it. Eventually somebody's going to say, "Oh, you know what? Birthday time's coming up. Let's get that person a tricycle." Or you're going to save up your money and you're going to end up buying it yourself. Whatever it happens to be. That's really what it's all about. You create opportunities by being so focused on what you want. And that is probably the biggest difference between the rest of us and the people who have great success. Well, not entirely. I take that back, because there are a large number of people who are very successful and they do it in unethical ways. They, at the very least, take shortcuts. At the very most, they break laws and hurt people and kill people. Like Putin, poo-poo head. Anyways, I'm not going to go on a diatribe about Russia and Putin. The point here is that, let me get another bite. The point here is that if you do want to succeed, it boils down to, number one, you need to change your mindset. Number two, you need to be very focused on what you want. Number three, you need to be actively searching for ways to make what you want come true. Number four, you need to let other people know. I mean, I'm not talking about bragging or anything like that, but saying, this is my plan, this is what I'm working on, and someday, I'm going to get there. And if ideally, Yeah, ideally, if you're really serious about it, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make a plan to help you get there. So all the steps necessary to achieve what you want to achieve, um, and write them down, and write down when you're going to do each of those steps. And if one step is complicated, break it down into smaller steps, and then when you're going to do each of the steps that are within that big step. And I have an article on I think it's blogger.com or WordPress, one or the other, that explains how to do that. It's called GPS Goal Plan Set. Goal Plan Schedule. Yeah, but I call it GPS for short. It's something I learned when I was learning about NLP in Indonesia, but they call it WAW. What do you want? What is it? What do you want? Oh man, I forgot. Anyways, goal, plan, and schedule. Set your goals. Make sure you make a very concrete, very specific description of the goal you want. Write out the plan. And if you don't know, you can always ask people who are experts. You can go and say go someone who's successful and has what you have and say, hey, you know what? Can you just help me to understand what you did, so because I want to do what that too. And then you schedule when you're going to do every aspect of that plan, each step, right? And that's really what works more for people than mysticism, and just praying for God to do it for you is probably not going to work. Okay, if you want something to happen, you got to make it happen. All right, just assume. Okay, assuming God is real, and your belief in God is correct. Okay, as opposed to the hundreds of other religions that are out there, you've chosen the right one, or been born into the right one. Assume that God wants you to do things as much as possible on your own, and that God will kind of tweak things and help you out, but it's up to you. Okay? So again, going back to the basic point here, the secret is not exactly a scam, but they are disingenuous. And if you're buying the video, you're buying membership or whatever, you're wasting your money, because that information is freely available to anybody who wants to go to the library or look online. It's everywhere. And it has been for far longer than the secret has been around. So I hope that this is helpful to you, and I hope that you are successful in getting what you want out of life, and hopefully it's not destructive and nasty stuff, okay? Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a great day.